Hey everyone, it's me, Ari.com Rashid. I'm your anthropologist and sociologist. Hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, become a member channel, donate the links below, check what else on Amazon. Look, people that don't want to be found. On this channel, I've spoken a lot about cold cases, missing people. I even reflected on some cold cases out there. Some of them may have been solved now, others are still ongoing. Today, I want to focus on the possibility of someone disappearing voluntarily. I want to talk about people that don't want to be found. Because when someone goes missing, it's convenient to think, oh, something bad happened, they're kidnapped, or they got an accident somewhere and they need help, emergency, whatever. But police officers would often say, well, if someone's an adult, or if they're above 18, they have a right to disappear if they want. Well, that's not exactly true according to law, because as a citizen, you're obliged to file for taxes and pay taxes. So if you just disappear, nobody knows anything about you, you can be charged for tax liability eventually. So that's not exactly true, but what the police officer is saying is, look, this is a grown individual. If they decided to leave everything behind, don't tell anyone what goes on and leave, maybe it's best for you to leave this individual alone. That's what the police are actually trying to say. They won't say it directly like this, but they're hinting to this. Now, I want you to look at the phenomena of people not wanting to be found. I want you to look at it with, let me say, I want you to look at it from the viewpoint of a police officer. Now, I'm not a police officer, you're not a police officer, or maybe you are. But anyway, a police officer is hired to make sure the public behaves. And only in specific circumstances when people don't behave properly, according to the governing rules of the country, the police officers intervene. Police officers are willing to even arrest their own mother or their own wife if necessary. They've put the law above the community. I'm not going to discuss that now in this video. I'm just making it a police officer. They're trained to check for suspicious behavior. Now, human beings are creatures of habit. We develop habits, and there's nothing wrong with having habits. And changing habits is not always easy, so we're creatures of habit. We are also creatures who like to hold on to what's known. For example, if you always go to one supermarket in your neighborhood, but while there are 5 other supermarkets, let's say you're comfortable in that supermarket, you know where everything is and all that, you can decide one day to go to another supermarket, that's fine, but hey, if you're using this supermarket and it works for you, why would you go to any other? Human beings are also creatures who want convenience. You don't go to a barber shop 20 kilometers away unless it's a specific reason why you would go there. For example, the barbershop is owned by one of your best friends and you want to show support. Apart from that, you would look for a barbershop close to you, or you go to a baker. You go to a baker across the street or a few blocks away. It doesn't even make sense for you to buy your groceries in another country or to buy your groceries in another city if you have a grocery store right there. So human beings psychologically crave community and comfort. Nothing wrong with that. Even antisocial people, so-called loners, have this craving. They just go against themselves and become depressed, and now they blame everyone else for it. And such toxic people often also join other people who are just as toxic as they are to get validation. So human beings are social creatures craving comfort. We are social community creatures craving comfort. There's nothing wrong with that. And because we are social creatures, community creatures craving comfort, no human being wakes up one day and decides, man, let me just disappear. Let me just forfeit my income Especially when it comes to finance, people don't play with their finances. I mean, if you have a job and you disappear, if you have saved some money, you may be able to get away with it for a moment, but eventually you need no new income. Unless you are a multimillionaire and able to buy a fake passport on the black market and all that, but even that can backfire on you in the long run. Why? Because one thing about human beings, history made us. You were shaped by the actions of those before you. Your first name didn't come for yourself. If you're born in Algeria or you're born in Saudi Arabia, as a boy, your first name is likely something like Muhammad or Hassan or Ahmed or whatever, an Islamic name or a name associated with Islam. Because Islam is a dominant religion in those places. Why? Because that's how things were in the past. Islam was established there. And based on that, you were born there in that ethnicity where Islam is dominant, so you have an Islamic background. History made you. Now, as an adult, you may decide, I don't want to be a Muslim anymore, I want to be a Christian, or I want to be this or that. That's something you could do later on, but even then, you will join another historical process that goes on. Whether you become an atheist, you become agnostic, whatever, those are all historical things that are established. History made us. Simple as that. And because history made us, we will always show some type of consequence of our history. Someone that grew up in a household that was quite liberal, where the parents were kind of loose towards them, when they're a bit older, if they pick up how bad it can be, where everyone is a bit loose, they may develop a strong resistance how they were raised and become hyper conservative. Even the conservative will think, whoa, chill a little bit, you're way too conservative. Why? That has to do with the history that shaped them. Or someone may be conservative because they were raised that way and because they don't want to own up to the failures of the community, because in conservatism, people don't address the failures of the community. People hide them and everyone is left alone. So for you to admit the failures of the community can be quite hard. So you may choose the easiest way by becoming intense in conservatism. Also has to do with an echo of the past. What I'm saying is human beings will at some point reveal through their behavior and their actions and their words where they're from. Someone that was severely traumatized 10 years ago, they will have to live for the rest of their life with the fact that thing happened, whatever it is. Whatever the thing is that happened to them, it happened. They are not the same human being they were before the trauma happened. So even if they never talk about the trauma anymore, it will show up in how they triggered all of that. So what I'm saying is human beings as social community creatures long for comfort, shaped by history, we will always show our past at some point. We will. A woman who was sexually loose in the nightlife, for example, when it comes to talk about the opposite sex, you will notice that you will notice something about her. A woman with barely less experience when it comes to the opposite sex, well, you also notice that in her behavior too. Why am I telling you all of this? Realize what I'm saying here. Human beings don't just wake up one day and throw everything away for somewhere else. Whether you're a man or a woman, no human being does that. There can be only two reasons for why someone would just disappear like that. One, their life is in danger. It could either be that they are a political victim about to be set up, or, and by the way, everyone who was wrongly convicted in a court of law is a political prisoner. The fact alone they got convicted and later it's proven they were innocent shows you that the criminal justice system didn't care about the truth, just want someone to be locked up. So, yes, they are political prisoners. And a lot of those political prisoners will never be acknowledged for being innocent. They'll die to the world known as a conflict, even if they were innocent of the crime. So if someone picks up that they're about to be set up by the authorities and decide to disappear, rightfully so, they should disappear. People that tell them, well, just work with authorities. If you're innocent, don't worry, just cooperate. Well, no. In history, it happened a lot that people naively cooperate with authorities without asking questions, and they ended up with bad outcomes, severely bad outcomes, whether it's genocide or whether it's, how to say, oppression, whether it's a slave trade or whatever it is. I'm telling you, you should not just trust authority figures because they're authority figures. It must be proven they're trustworthy. Now look, if your life is in danger, whether it's the authorities coming after you to set you up, or whether it's the people around you not liking you, and you feel like they want to get rid of you, you feel like they want to sabotage you, in that case, where you know your life is in danger, you decide, oh, I'm out of here, out of the blue, you do the right thing. You should. Shouldn't stay in a bad situation unnecessarily. Put yourself and others at risk. In that case, you will still have to put up with the difficulty of, unlearning your quote unquote old life and adapt to the new place and understand that people in the new place will at some point have questions about your past. They will have questions about your past. They will. And if you were in danger and you fled, it may be that the new people, the new place will have sympathy or empathy for you and they will understand you and they'll integrate you there. It can also be that people realize, oh shit, you're on the run. That means whatever's in your past that you ran away from may still haunt you. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not endorse people fleeing. I don't endorse escapism. I tell people all the time, own up to things, face things, and deal things constructively. I'm not naive, however, to say that there are no cases in which you just have to just run away. I mean, if you're in a supermarket and someone stands in front of you and they just suddenly grab a knife and look angry at you, are you going to try to reason with them? No, you get hell out of there. There are times you just have to get out of a situation swiftly, okay? But that's not escapism. That's actually when it's necessary. When it's proved to be necessary, okay? But anyway, even if you left the place with the right reason because you were in danger, that means there's still people on earth who have issues against you and were willing to still come after you if they're still alive. If they're not alive anymore, some of their relatives may take over the resentment towards you. So the people in the new place where you're living now may realize, you know what? The fact alone, there are people after this man or woman over here. If they found out this individual's over here, we may be a target too. You know what? We don't want this. So that's a risk that you'll take. But anyway, I'd rather have you take that risk than to stay in a bad situation that would become fatal to you. But there's also another reason why someone would just want to disappear out of the blue. That is if there's something about them they don't want to face. And I want to focus on that one in this video. When someone has a dark secret, what I mean with a dark secret is when someone has a dysfunction or they have some type of toxic trait that they don't want to own up to. Because once you own up to it, now you need to face yourself, own up to the consequences, and learn to be constructive, to become a better and safe human being. That is the best and the right thing to do. However, it's not easy, especially when it involves other people. For example, a man that impregnated several women and he ran away because he didn't want the responsibility of being a father, just wanted to be left alone, partying, living life. And now the children he fathered are now growing up. Now, and let's say the guy is now in his late 40s. And now he has all these colleagues around him at work talk about the children graduating high school, the children going to college, all of that. And now he's realizing, you know what? If these people found out that I abandoned women who were pregnant of my children, if they found out about this, the whole career I built up would crash immediately. For that man to own up to his cowardice would mean that he would lose his credibility, would mean he may have lawsuits against him, because the mothers of those children, as well as the grown children now, can now go to a court of law, demand a DNA test. And once the DNA test is proven that he's the father, he may have to pay years of child support. If he refuses to do that, he may end up in prison, rightfully so. So him owning up to his cowardice, it'll cost him something. That fleeting comfort he had for decades, always being left alone, escaping, it's over. And now he needs to own up to all the things he's been avoiding. And other people may not be that forgiving towards him. And you can't blame them. Because nobody told them to have sex with all these women, risking pregnancy, and then run away. Nobody told them to do that. And nobody told them to abandon his own offspring. And let me tell you, if a man or a woman abandons his own offspring, that's the type of crime that horrifies people. Because people think, if you can do this to your own offspring, what are you going to do to us? So let's say this guy has a clientele. That a lot of people have a good opinion of him. Then one day, one of his grown children appear, saying, "Dad, why did you abandon mom?" When this comes out, oh my God, he's going through it. He's going to the backlash, and there will be nothing to protect from the backlash. And let me tell you, demons cannot protect him from the backlash because it's something he did, and it's a very big thing. Demons are not able to cover him for that. And another thing, the Heavenly Father himself would not cover him. Let's say he was a heathen, a toxic unbeliever when he did all those things. The moment he became a believer, he should have realized, Heavenly Father, I'm sorry for how horrible I used to be. I want to make it up to my offspring. I may not be able to make it up with the mothers of the children, because they may be married now or they want nothing to do with me, but I will do my best to make it up to my children. If I can't be part of their lives because maybe they don't want to be involved with me, I will leave some inheritance for them. We'll do something. That's what he should have done as a believer. But even if he became a believer and he didn't comply with justice towards the children he abandoned, God is not okay with that. God is not going to protect him from the backlash coming. Because if he's a believer right now, he should have owned up to it a long time ago, do something about it. And even if he's not a believer, as a human being, should even behave that way. So a man like this, once he realizes that his past is about to come out, he'll go through mental breakdowns over and over again, losing his income, maybe even risking becoming homeless, risking all those people talking shit about him everywhere he goes, having his name smeared by his own doing. He may decide, you know what, let me just disappear. This guy may decide, you know what, let me book a flight to, let's say, Australia or to Brazil, whatever, and let me just start over there. He may go to the black market to get a fake passport and under a new name, start a new life over there. Make up a whole history about themselves. They may even pay professional people to create a fake LinkedIn account for them or a fake Facebook page or whatever to fake like that history. Because hey, he's in his late 40s. So people ask, what have you doing your life? So, or he may move to another country out of the blue and make up a sad story of how bad his life was and he was missing out something. He'll come with some new age like fairy tale on why he had to leave. Anyway, this guy will decide, I'm going to disappear. And mind you, the people around this guy will think, why did he disappear? What happened? Is he killed? Is he dead? Because we are very concerned. The thing is, if he would have stayed and owned up to himself, they wouldn't be so conservative anymore because they think, what type of human being are you? Now that and the thing is, if his reputation goes down, everyone linked with him will suffer too. All his former employers, his clientele, if he's married now, his current partner, when things catch up to him, everyone associated with him will suffer a reputational loss too. Because people are going to think, hold on a minute, you've been hanging out and relating to this, how to say, to this whoremonger who abandoned his own children. And you never even, how come you never knew about it? Okay, we understand you know everything about the guy, but come on, you never noticed anything was off in his character. So all the people around them will also suffer reputational loss. If he would have stayed, he would have people turning on him. Now that he's gone, people still have a good opinion of him. People are concerned about him. So from his point of view, he did what was best for him. Now, don't get me wrong. If you become a believer, you're a total new human being. You're totally renewed. But people around you won't forgive you nor accept the new you, then it may be best for you to leave that place. If you, for example, are a human trafficker, trafficking a lot of women, and now you want to be a family man, it could be that the place where you did all those crimes will want you around. In that case, just leave. I mean, you can't blame those people for not wanting you around, even if it's in the past. Okay? In this case, an example just gave on to you that guy who, for faith's own offspring, just wanted to hold around all of that, he may disappear one day because there's something about him that he's not owning up to. And the thing is, because listen, if it's just a year after his child is born, that he comes to terms, you know what? I'm sorry, I walked away from when you were pregnant. I need to make it up. If they'd been 1 year, he could come back from it. If it's even 5 years, when the child is 5 years old, to some extent, he may still not get away with it, but still would be able to make it up. If it's 10 years after his child is born, it's going to be more difficult. Because even the child now will think, where have you been when I was so little? If it's 18 years after the child is born, can he still get away with it? No. Absolutely not. And if it's 30 years, and now there are even grandchildren of him walking around, you think he can get away you think he can come back from it now? Are there grandchildren involved? No, because the grandchildren will think, hold on a minute, you are born with death. Why would we want you as a grandfather? Or you see what I mean? So what I'm saying is, when people are in error, when people are operating negativity, there is a window of opportunity in which it's easy for them to come back from it, repent, become better. But once the window of opportunity is closed, they can still repent if they are alive, but it's going to be more difficult, it's going to be more repercussions. Let me give another example to you. Let's say I'm baking something in my oven, and I put it in the oven and say, let me go take a 5-minute walk. No problem. Let's say during the 5-minute walk, I end up having a phone call with someone. And I realize, oh crap, it's been 30 minutes since I'm outside. Let me rush back home. And because I'm close to the bike, I can run back home. Maybe the cake or the bread, whatever, or the pizza is burnt up. But hey, at least worse has been prevented. Now, if I put something in the oven, for example, pizza, and I take the bus or the train to a whole nother city to go shopping, maybe 2 hours later, if I remember, oh shit, the pizza is still in the oven. By that time, there's smoke everywhere in my house, the fire alarm went off, and I could even call the firefighters and the police to come and check what goes on. And if the smoke also affect other people, I may face legal charges, or let's say it's worse. Let's say I use a gas oven, and now there was a gas explosion. In this case, a portion of the building is blown up, and if I live in a flat with multiple flats around me, or actually in American English, an apartment complex, there may be damage to other people's homes too. And so now I would be in trouble with the property manager or real estate manager that managed the building. I would be in trouble with the firefighters, with the police. I would be in trouble with my neighbors also. Now I have to deal with court cases because of all the damages. Or worse, let's say there was a gas explosion because the oven, and now someone died. Oh my God, that's something that cannot be turned back. Individual died. Now I would face charges not for murder, but maybe I'm not sure if it's involuntary manslaughter or death by guilt or whatever it is, but there may be some charge in which it's guaranteed I would have to go to prison and I get a criminal record. So again, if I was outside on my flat walking around and I end up delaying, you realize, oh, I have something in the oven, I can still run back home if I'm close nearby to a rescue situation. If I'm hours away, no, not possible anymore. Worse, if I put a pizza in the oven and I catch an airplane to another continent, people are going to say, well, minute, how can you put something put something in the oven while you're about to take an airplane? Nobody does shit like that. People say, man, this guy is just neglectful. So They may press charge against me in this country and ask other countries to extradite me back. Or I wouldn't be able to come back to this country because of the negligence that leads to injuries on other people. What I'm saying is, this is just a parable I just used, by the way. If you're involved in some type of negativity, there's always a close window of opportunity for you to get it right. You miss that window of opportunity, you should still get it right, but you're going to have additional costs. Okay, if for example, let's say I borrowed a book from the library, and I forgot, it's like 2 days too late. They say, oh, don't worry, just let's say they have a policy that after a week, when a book's too late, you have to pay a penalty. Okay, so let's say I'm 10 days too late after that. I can still pay it off. Let's say I'm 1 month too late. It's a bit weird. Let's say it's a half year. Now the library may say, you know what, we need to um, report this because this is a bit off. What if it's 10 years? It's too late. Maybe the library closed by now or the library replaced the book. But guess what? Do you ever think I go back to that library as a happy customer and be accepted openly like that? No, wouldn't happen. Oh, and if the book was a rare copy, I mean, you may have scholars coming after you and all of that. So what I'm saying is, it's always a window of opportunity. Let me say something else. Let's say you have a scam artist who scams someone out of their money. Let's say the scam artist realizes, oh my God, I can get in trouble for this. The scam artist can say within a few days, hey, there's something, the order cannot be processed anymore. Under the circumstances, I'm going to deposit the money back. If the scam artist does that, even though he scammed the individual, by law, he can always say, his lawyer can always say, listen, the individual said by unforeseen circumstances they couldn't deliver the product and the money is back. If the judge would say, yeah, the money is back. By law, in each country, you have how to say, you have a term in which things have to be returned. If you buy something online and the seller does not deposit the money back within X amount of time, you can now report them for scam, and they will have a police charge on them. If they deposit the money back within a certain time frame, no charges. If you buy something online and you never get the product, and within a few days the sellers deposit the money back, no charge, no problem. Situation solved. You got your money back. If it's after a half year, they deposit the money back. Now, even if they're not actual scam artists, this can be business neglect and you can still be charged for that. And you know what? After 6 months, even the police gonna doubt, hold on. Let's say it's 10 years they deposit the money back. People think, why even deposit it back? The individual may have forgotten about it, all of that. Or anyway, what I'm saying is, whenever people are involved in wrongdoing, there's always a window of opportunity to get out of it. Beyond that window of opportunity, it's going to be more and more difficult. Now look, when people have something about them that they don't want to face or deal with, and realize that if this comes out, they will lose all they have with backfire, a lot of times people decide to just disappear. And let me tell you one thing. When people disappear like that, I know you want answers, rightfully so, but especially if you're involved with this individual, but you know what? It may be best for you to let this individual go, to let them disappear. Because once, let's say, when you were not aware of their dark secret, you couldn't be liable for it because you had no idea, you were not involved. But the moment they confess their dark secret to you, now you're part of the situation. And because you're part of the situation, now you are liable if you do something about it. Let's say you have a neighbor called Robert. And man, you and Robert are good buddies, this and that. And one day, Rob just disappears. His wife thinks, what happened to my husband? His children think, where's that? So 2 or 3 months later, You run into Bob across town and say, hey, Bob, I need to talk to you. Bob tries running, hey, Bob, stop for a moment. What happened to you, man? You've been missing for 3 months. Well, how can you do this to your wife, to your children? And Robert tells you, Robert tells you, look, man, I've been involved with this deal with concerning cocaine and all of that. So, and I fucked up the cocaine transfer. So now the drug dealer's after me, man. So I had to go. In this case, now you know why this man suddenly left. You know what he was involved in. So now every time you see his wife and his children, there are two things you can do. Either you can confess what happened, you contact their father or a husband, and he's on run because of a drug deal. But yeah, by saying this, you will now destroy the reputation of that man and his family. Because that man was seen as, he was seen as a happy family man. And based on that, people kind of feel sorry, just disappear. Think, what is this? If it comes out he was involved with drug dealers, not only will his reputation go down, people will also look different at his children. Because a lot of people feel sorry for his children and his wife for the fact that he just disappeared like that, based on the fact that he was a quality man in their eyes. But even if he appears to be not a quality man, people may still feel sorry for the children, but it's going to be a little less. Because a lot of people say, hold on a minute, if this man was involved with drug dealers, how come the wife's not aware of it? Maybe the children are not aware of it, how come the wife's not aware of it? So what I'm saying is, now that you know why Robert disappeared, now you carry the burden with you to either, in a constructive way, reveal the truth and work with a solution, or another thing you can do is keep it to yourself. And sometimes it's better to keep it to yourself. But now you're carrying it with you too. It's not just his secret anymore, it's your secret too. And let's say later it turns to a police investigation. And the police figures out that Robert may have been involved with crime. If the police found out that 2 years ago you met Robert when he was a few months missing and he confessed something to you and remained silent, the police may report this to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor may charge you for obstruction of justice. And now you may face charge to go to prison. So what I'm saying is, as long as you're not aware of someone's dark secret, it's not your secret. It's not your concern now. Now, it is your concern how the individual treated you. So, rightfully so, you want answers. But sometimes it's better for you not to get the answers now. You will get answers eventually, but maybe not now. Because maybe if you get the answers right now, it will become a weight you have to carry. And the thing is, you were not even involved in the darkness. But now because you're aware of the darkness, now you have responsibility to do something about it. So, understand the following. Understand the following. When someone just disappears, and it's not because they themselves were about to be set up by the authorities or because people around them were coming after them. If someone has a dark secret and that was about to come out and they disappear because they don't want to go through things coming out, look, you can pray for this individual and all that from a distance. And there's nothing wrong with you wanting to find answers what happened, but you know what? Sometimes it's better for you not to get answers right now. Maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now, it may be better for you to get answers. Because now, if you find out 20 years later, what can you do? Nobody can blame you, or nobody can use it against you. Maybe if you found out the reality of the situation right now, it could backfire on you or use against you. But if you found out years from now, it wouldn't matter that much anymore. So, when people don't want to be found, and there is no good reason for it, in this case they were in danger and to leave, I'm telling you, let them go. Okay, you let them go. But remember, they've disappeared without any good reason. So there's some type of mess they're leaving behind that you guys have to deal with. Whether they abandon their children, or their spouse, or they abandon their business, or they abandon their clients, you should have to deal with the mess they left behind. But also understand, if someone doesn't want to be found and there's no good reason for it, look around you. Because that means that they were fooling everyone around them. If someone disappears without any good reason, and they leave everything behind, all of that. Listen, the reason they disappeared is because they couldn't get away full of people around them anymore. Or maybe some people around them were about to sell them out. So there are people around you who are either so defective that toxic people, evil people, bad people can just use them. So you have to question people around you too. If this individual disappeared right now because of a dark secret, how come people around never noticed something was off with him? Or it could also be that some people figured out his or her dark secret and are about to reveal it, so there may be people who know more. In that case, there may be people around there were blackmailers, or there may be people around there who know more, but they don't do anything about it. So either you have people around there who are blackmailers, and that's why this individual just disappeared, doesn't want to be found, or you have people around who are just so defective they don't even notice when something's off, and that's quite disturbing. Or you have people around who know things, but they're irresponsible, not doing something about the situation. So there are also disturbing people around you to deal with. Don't focus so much on an individual that disappeared without a trace, who doesn't want to be found. Focus on the people who are left behind. There's something after people are there too. Look into that. I don't tell you to be. I'm not telling you to be an amateur private detective. Now you can do that, but just make sure you stay safe and you don't break the laws while doing your investigation. But just know you need to look at the people who are left behind too. Well, that's it for now. Keep on agreeing with Christ and be at peace.